It's not just an ordinary Tuesday. Welcome to Terrier Tuesdays, the show where you can get to know some of Boston University's best and brightest student athletes.
Welcome to another edition of Terrier Tuesdays. I'm Scott Ellis, and I'm joined by senior Marc Sable of the men's tennis team. And now it's soon to be graduate. You just finished up finals. How'd they go, Marc?
I think they felt pretty good. I'm hoping to end on a high note, but I definitely had a little more time to study than I otherwise would have at school. So hopefully I use that to my advantage.
And how was the adjustment going from being in a classroom to the virtual classes?
I think it was definitely a little bit of an adjustment. I think one thing that I've really enjoyed throughout my time at BU was the ability to collaborate inside the classroom. I definitely think I'm a Questrom student, and the professors in Questrom have done a really nice job over the years, in my experience, of creating and facilitating good conversation in an environment that we can really learn in. And I think that was probably one of the most difficult things to carry on in or over Zoom. But over the last month or two, I think they've done a pretty good job about it. And overall, I'm happy with the way things ended.
Well, speaking of Questrom, I know focusing on business administration, but also on finance. Can you just talk about those studies and what you're looking for in the future with your degree?
Yeah, so I really like finance because, one, I was extremely interested in it and didn't really have as much of a background coming into college. And I was able to take a variety of courses, whether it related to financial markets or portfolio management or real estate finance, and I was able to dabble in a lot of different areas within finance, and that kind of led me to what I'll be doing after graduation. I was fortunate enough last summer to intern with PricewaterhouseCoopers in their New York City office, working in their mergers and acquisitions consultant division, and I was fortunate enough to receive a full-time offer. So I'll be starting back up there hopefully this fall. Obviously, there's a little uncertainty with everything going on, but I'm just super excited to get started and get to work.
No, absolutely, and that's awesome. But speaking of the job, with everything that's been going on, just on the economic side, have you been closely monitoring, especially the stock market?
Yeah, no, I've definitely just tried to keep up to date, understand what's going on, especially with what's related to the job that I'll be doing. I'm just trying to understand the climate of different companies and what'll be going on in the future. I'm sure I'd assume that there's going to be a lot of acquisitions going forward once the economy starts to improve. And I'm just doing everything I can to stay informed and to hopefully do a good job once I begin.
Right. Now, going to the athletic side on tennis, I mean, first, how did you decide to come to BU and to play tennis?
So I really, in high school, I started a little bit on the later side with respect to the sport. And I was really just kind of looking, I'm from Michigan, and I wanted to get out of the Midwest a little bit and experience something new. And I'd always been attracted to the city of Boston, hadn't spent a ton of time there, but I knew it was a cool city, and I was looking at a lot of schools in Boston and kind of just stumbled upon BU and fell in love with the campus and the environment, and I took a visit with the teammates that ended up being the seniors when I was a freshman, and they were just fantastic, and I was super drawn to the environment that they created on the team, and I knew it was the right fit.
And speaking of the program and your teammates, y'all really made great strides during your time here at BU, really raising the profile of the program. Unfortunately, obviously didn't get that last opportunity to reach the NCAAs, but can you just talk about those steps taken over the past 4 years to really get the team much closer to reaching that ultimate goal?
Yeah, I think when I look back over my 4 years, I think the biggest thing was the leadership within the team. I think was awesome. From my freshman year to my senior year, I think the leaders on the team, whether or not they were explicitly captains, made sure that people were motivated, on track. Obviously, there's always going to be some bumps in the road, but I think one skill that the team refined throughout the years was the ability to hold each other accountable within the team and to almost get on the same wavelength, so that when it became time to compete, everyone was performing to the best of their ability.
Right. And even though you didn't get the opportunity to compete in the conference tournament this year, you did, in some equivalency, got to compete against a national power to end your season in Michigan, your home state. Can you just talk about that opportunity to play the top 5 team in Michigan? And your match especially, it was very close, down to the wire.
Yeah, no, I first of all, that experience was pretty surreal for me. I've grown up a Michigan fan ever since I was a little kid, going to their football games, their basketball games. So being able to compete against one of their athletics teams myself was a cool experience. And I think the one thing that our team really came away from, or what we learned from that experience, was that even though they are obviously a fantastic program, fantastic team, we're right there. The results may have not on the books showed that, but we're right there in every match. And I think that match, along with when we play a lot of the Ivy League schools, really shows us that we are right there, and we have to go out to all those matches and compete and believe in ourselves. And I think that's also one of the reasons why our team has taken such strides over the last couple of years, that we've really gotten to the point where we do believe that we can compete with teams like that. So I'm definitely really excited to see what the program accomplishes over the next couple of years.
And you've been talking about leadership and the captains. And for you, not only were you a leader with men's tennis, but also for SAC this past year serving as president. Can you just talk about your tenure this year, and then just the past 4 years helping out with SAC and making an impact on the community?
Yeah, no, I'm super grateful that I was had the opportunity to be SAC president this year, and I really have enjoyed my experiences over the last 4 years. I think the coolest aspect of engaging in SAC was just the opportunity to get to know athletes from all the different sports teams. I think being a student athlete has such a commitment, and you don't necessarily get the opportunity to hang out and get to know athletes from other teams. So it was a cool thing that I was able to designate time every week, every couple weeks, to really get to know athletes from other teams, understand their experiences, what they're going through, what things they'd like to change in the athletic department positively to make the student athlete experience even better. And one cool thing being president this year was that I was able to kind of lead that mission and pioneer some cool changes within the athletic department for student athletes that I think hopefully made the experience better. And I'm really excited about, there's a great new e-board coming in next year, led by Lily Burchell, who's on the women's tennis team. And I'm just really excited for what that e-board can accomplish next year.
Right. And my final question for you, with your experience with SAC, being on the men's tennis team, being a leader there, and then getting that great education in Questrom, how does all those parts help you moving forward as you enter the professional world?
I think if I had to pick out one thing, it would probably be the ability to deal with and to communicate with people of many different backgrounds. I think one thing that BU prides itself on is its diversity, whether it's in the classroom or in the athletic department, and to have the ability to interact with people that came from different walks of life and from different areas of the world, not just the country, really teaches you a lot, whether it's subconsciously or through different situations that you have to go through. And I think the ability to understand people in different ways and to reach towards the same goal, whether it's that's in the classroom or on the court, I think serves not just myself, but every BU student athlete great successes for the future.
Well, thank you very much for joining me, Mark, and congrats on the job coming up in the fall with Price Waterhouse. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm definitely really excited.
Thanks for tuning in to Terrier Tuesdays. Give us a follow on our social media accounts at BU Athletics on Twitter and Instagram for more content.